one. Number 52. I appreciate that, Samantha. Number 52 says, ooh, looks ugly. What kind of shape is that? It's a triangular prism. That's what that is called. Anytime I have an object where the ends of it are the same shape, it's a prism. So those are triangular prisms. And I've got one that is a 2 by 1 by 1.5, and the other one is a 2 by 8. What is the closest to 8 in height of the larger prism?
7.
Nicole is now online. Okay? Happens to me all the time during Class Connect. Okay. Any of my geometry students recognize this problem?
Yes.
What is this problem?
A surface area problem.
No.
Volume.
No. Nice try.
We can go on all day.
Yes, sir.
It's a scaling problem.
It's a scaling problem, which
That was
means
better
it's
guess.
similar. They're similar objects, aren't they? If you would move up just a little bit for me on the screen. You know, it even helps if we read the whole question here. It says the two triangular prisms shown below are similar. Similar means that we have to set up a proportion. We have to set up a ratio that we can solve this with. So, 1, 2 sides on here are corresponding sides in these triangles, or in these objects. The 2 and what? The 2 and the 1.5. So I'm going to set up a ratio. 1.5 to 2. Let's try that. 1.5 divided by 2, and that will be equal to what? I'm going to go back to this same prism here. The first one is going to be the height of this one, 2, and this one is 8. So it's going to be 2 over 8. Now guys, I've told my geometry class several times how we solve this. What's the term I use for solving this? Maybe just a second. How do I solve this, people? What do I call it? I use the same terms every time. Okay, you guys aren't paying attention to me. I can see that real quickly. In geometry class, I always want to say cross multiply, and then I slap myself. But that's not the correct way you do it. The correct terms are means and extremes. What we're going to do is, we're going to do a little bit of means and extremes work here. We're going to multiply these two together. Those are called the means. And that's going to be equal to multiplying these two together. Those are the extremes. So when I multiply these together, I get 4. Hey, I can do that one in my head. 2 times 2, right? 4. And then that's going to be equal to 1.58. So what do I do after I multiply them together? Obviously, I'm trying to solve 8. What's my next step? Yeah, except that wouldn't give me 8 if I move the 4 over here. Well, I don't want to move the 8. What else could I move?
Divide by 1.5.
1.5. Because then if I divide by 1.5, you know what happens? 8 on this side, so I divide this side by 1.5. So when I divide 4 by 1.5, you can't do this up here on the screen, so my people who watch it. So what? 4 divided by 1.5. No, that's 125. How about that? Try again. 4 divided by 1.5. And you get an answer of 2.6. It goes, okay? So it goes on 9. So which of those answers is the best number to go with that one? Yeah, the 2.7. They only have one decimal point here, so G would be my best answer there. Cool. Cool. Now, I wish my geometry students had done better remembering the means and extremes. But when I've got similar triangles, something you should have learned in 8th grade geometry there, when you got similar objects, the corresponding sides will be in ratio to each other. And that's all I did there, is I set up a ratio between those corresponding sides. And see guys, the things we are teaching you in class, you will see on the TAKS test. And I realize this is a 10th grade test, so this question isn't on the 9th grade test, it's only on the 10th grade test, and the reason it's on the 10th grade test is we covered it in 10th grade geometry. So you guys will see that question. Okay? Maybe not those same numbers, but that same type of question. Let's go to the next one here. Two complementary angles have measures of f and t. If f is 9 less than twice t, which is the system of a linear equation that can be used to determine the measure of each angle. Well, have you guys in algebra started covering system of linear equations yet? No. Linear system of equations is when I have two equations and two unknowns and I'm trying to solve it for them. One of the methods for doing that is to graph them and see where they intersect. Okay? So we can graph these equations and see where they intersect. But the first thing we've got to do here is determine which is the right set of equations to be using. Now, I know that in 8th grade, they taught you what the word complementary means. Every 8th grade math teacher teaches the word complementary. And they almost all do it the same way. C comes before S. Why does C come before S? You all know your ABDs, don't you?
ABDs. ABCs.
That's it, right, ABDs. C comes before S. C comes before S. Complementary before supplementary. Complementary means that the two angles add up to what? No, close up. No. 90. Okay, 90 degrees. If they're complementary, they add up to 90 degrees. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. So that means F plus T is going to be 90 degrees. So is that going to be the right answer? No, because that F plus T didn't equal 90 degrees there. How about this one right down? Any of those, right there. F plus T equals 90 degrees. Is that one a good answer? Possibly a good answer? Okay, how about that one? T plus F, 90 degrees. Yes, okay, these two, C and D, look like they might be good answers for me to use. Okay? Even though you don't know what to do with a system of equations, you haven't solved the system of equations, we can find the answer here because all we're trying to do is find the system of equations and you know what complementary angles are. So I've got it narrowed down to 2. The next thing I'm going to look at is this. If T is 9 less than S, if T is 9 less than twice S, so what does that mean to do to S? What am I going to do? Twice S, what does that mean? No, not quite squaring it, definitely. That's close. Multiply it by what? Put 2 in front of it. If it's twice S, it's going to be 2S. And T must equal 9 less than that. So I'm going to take 2S minus 9. Right? So there must be my other answer. Does this one have 2S minus 9? Yes. How about this one? Is that 2S minus 9? That's negative. So that's not the right answer, is it? It's got to be C is the right answer. Can you see how I just used one of those strategies? I eliminated the wrong answers because 2 of them didn't have the complementary angles in there. And then I went through and I looked at the rest of them and I said, okay, here's what the other one must look like. I eliminated it. I got it narrowed down to one answer. And that has to be my right answer. Cool?
Awesome.
I'm trying to use those strategies to answer these questions. Let's go up to the next question. How much time do I got left?
About 25 minutes.
Thank you.